Hello, my name is Alex Viljowski, and this is my final community service learning report / video on my reflection of my service learning for my Soc class for the past semester. The service learning that I decided to do was at Butler Mitchell Boys and Girls Club, located in downtown Buffalo. Now, Butler Mitchell Boys and Girls Club, it's like it sounds, it's a Boys and Girls Club. It's kind of like a babysitting thing where students from kind of more poorer communities in downtown Buffalo would have a place to go after school, so they wouldn't get themselves into trouble. They'd be around a positive atmosphere, and they could just all get along together under supervision and just do things like their homework and learn how to get along. So I would go into this Boys and Girls Club, and I would go in, sit with the students. Certain age groups, there was between the little kids, which were around 5 to 9, and then there was the bigger kids, which was like 9 to 13. Normally I would work with the bigger kids just because I was better at working with them than the smaller ones, and I would just help them with their homework. If they wanted someone to talk to, I would be there. If I had any questions about anything, even non-school related, they would ask me, just get along with them. I would even help them in the gym, because they love going to the gym, especially because I was working with the boys, so it would always be fun if I was there and was just playing along with them. So that's pretty much what I did there. Over the past semester, I did about 20, well, I did do 20 hours of service. About 16 of those were actually services there, while 2 of them, I believe, were through orientations here at Damon that I collected because of mandatory meetings that offered hours, and also one snow day where I was supposed to go in but I couldn't. And yeah, looking back at it, I've built many good relationships with a lot of the students there. I know, say one kid in particular, Antonio. I remember when I first went in there, the kids were always so happy and fun, and I kind of wondered, these kids don't even look like they come from this sort of community. And I remember just one time, like I said, this kid Antonio came up to me. He had me proofread one of his papers, and I said, okay, no problem. And while I was reading it, he was detailing his life and how he had a bad home life and everything, and it was just a sad paper to read. And I was first off surprised that he even wrote it on his paper, because that's something personal, but he did, and I was even more surprised that he decided to share it with me. And I know when I read that, it just made my heart sink, and that I could see that even though that these kids act like everything's okay, act like that their life is just rainbows and butterflies, there's more to it than that. There's always underlying things. Not to judge a book by its cover. Just because someone may seem like everything's alright doesn't mean it is, or they are. I'm working with the staff as well has been wonderful. Working with Mr. David, Becky, all of them, Mr. S, has just been a wonderful experience. They were always so supportive. They're always so nice. They made our experience there, at least mine at least, as good as it could be. They were always understanding. They always asked what we wanted to do, how we should go about hanging out with the students, and that was just obviously very appreciative and just made it a whole lot easier to go there. How this relates to the text is a couple of ways. One of the ways I see it as, it's kind of like the melting pot because there are students from different backgrounds that went there, and like even say from different countries, just different ways of growing up, and they all had to come here to America and just pretty much be thrown in to this pot where all these different ethnicities, nationalities have come together, and that's not an easy thing to do. I know myself, first generation here, being raised European from Macedonia, and then having to integrate into all of these different ethnicities and nationalities was difficult. And I can only imagine how it is for these kids nowadays, because it can't be any easier. Also, there's the concept of assimilation, that again, all these different ethnicities are here coming together, and now they have to like make a living. They have to know how to live along with the culture we have here. That's also by going to school, going to this club, just learning things which are socially acceptable and how we should be. There's also the statistics on how different races and nationalities are treated, like from that one class we had where people from certain parts of the world act differently, such as one person may be more keen on like people, like if someone, they had like a time schedule for someone, like I have to meet at this point, but then something came up, like when you're talking with a person, they'd rather finish that conversation with someone because they value that interaction more with people than time oriented. And that was definitely something that I could see in these other kids. For example, they never wanted to do their work. They always liked being around each other more, and which I agree with, I enjoy. I believe people should always come first and everything else comes second. Human interaction is something that makes life so beautiful, and that was something nice to see. Relating what this service has had on me, the effect on this experience, it's affected me in a couple different ways. It's made me see different perspectives in life. If it wasn't for Damon, honestly, I probably wouldn't have done something like this, but because I have, it's definitely rewarding. It was definitely great working with these children, seeing how they go through life, hearing about the things they go through life, just realizing that not everyone is the same, and people come from different backgrounds, and even though they may seem one way on the outside, doesn't necessarily mean they're the same way on the inside. And I know as a result of this experience, I will be going about life a little bit differently, just again, not judging a book by its cover, and just being more caring and understanding of different ethnicities and cultures, because like life is too short to just hold grudges and not try to understand others. What's the point in being upset when you can be happy? What's the point in hating when you can love? For anyone who is planning on working at Butler Mitchell's Boys and Girls Club, I would definitely say that it's not for everyone. That you need to be patient and you need to be able to work with kids well. And that was kind of difficult for me because I wasn't so going into it. Working with kids, it was kind of difficult, but I've grown to them, I built relationships with them, and eventually got much easier. So again, if you're already someone who loves working with kids, I would definitely recommend Butler Mitchell's Boys and Girls Club. You get a lot out of it. It's a great program. You can see how others integrate into life in downtown Buffalo if you've never been experienced to that before. So yes, I would definitely recommend this to any new service learning comer who wants to be challenged. And well, that is it. This service learning has been great. This social class has been even better. I've really loved my time in Soch, learning about all these different things that about diversity that I would never have known of. And also my time again in my placement. So thank you. And I'm all done. Have a wonderful day. Good night.